Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Jorge Espinoza. I'm a student of the UTP University. It's a great pleasure to be with you today on our first academic forum of syntax and teaching grammar. Welcome. Today, we're going to be analyzing a very fascinating and interesting topic, which is called heads and modifiers. So let's get started. In structural grammar, groups of words can be analyzed based on the relationship they hold. This can be represented in terms of structure and their major components. One of these structures is called heads and modifiers. But what's a head? Head is the most important word into a phrase because it bears crucial semantic information. It determines the meaning of the entire phrase. So basically, the head is the controlling idea of a sentence. It's a word that controls the other words. It's like the one that directs the direction of the sentence. The syntactic structure is head plus modifier. For example, the boy who cried. Who cried? The boy. So here the boy is the central idea or it's the head of the sentence. Or sing sweetly is another example where sing is acting as the controlling head of the sentence. So let's see now some properties of the heads. The head bears the central semantic information into the phrase. The word class of the heads determines the word class of the entire phrase. Heads are normally obligatory, while other material in the phrase might be optional. So as you can see, the role of the heads is extremely important because they are mandatory, they're obligatory. They must be a head in order to create a good sentence because the head is the one that is controlling where the sentence is going to be going. Heads select dependent phrases of a particular word class. These phrases are sometimes obligatory and are known as complements, which we will see later on. Let's see some examples. Very bright sunflowers. Here, what's very bright? The sunflowers. So sunflowers is acting as the head of the sentence, the controlling idea of the sentence. Or a brass statue. A brass statue, we're not talking about what kind of brass, we're talking about what kind of statue. So statue here is the controlling idea or the head of the sentence. Vegetable stew, we're not talking about what kind of vegetable, we're talking about specifically what kind of stew. So the word stew is the head or the controlling idea of this sentence. Now let's see about modifiers. Modifiers are known as the other words that modify the head. So modifiers are the words that modify the head. A modifier changes, clarifies, qualifies, or limits a particular word in a sentence in order to add emphasis, explanation, or detail. Modifiers tend to be descriptive words such as adjectives or adverbs. Let's see some examples. Josh bought a chocolate cake yesterday. Here we have an article A that is modifying the word cake. We also have the direct adjective, which is the word chocolate, that is also modifying the word cake. But we have a third word. Which is the word yesterday that is announcing the time of the action. So in here we have three different types of modifiers that are modifying the sentence. A second example, Murphy, the president's daughter, is very sick. Here, Murphy, the president's daughter, is modifying the word Murphy. The president's daughter, the president is modifying the noun daughter, but the whole phrase is acting as an adjective because modifying the word Murphy. We have also the adjective sick that is modified by the adverb very. So as you can see, these are some of the functions and importance that modifiers can play in a sentence. Let's see a final example. The gray dog was barking at me aggressively. Here, the adjective, the gray, is modifying the word dog. Was barking at me aggressively. So the word aggressively is the adverb that is modifying the word barking at me. So here, so as you can see, these are the functions that modifiers can play into the sentence. But now let us know how modifiers divide themselves into two classes. Obligatory modifiers known as complements and optional modifiers known as adjuncts. Let us know about complements. Complements are words or phrases that are used to complete the meaning of a given sentence. So complements are mandatory or obligatory to give complete meaning to a sentence. Without a complement, the sentence will not have a meaning. For example, every sunset is a gift. In this sentence, every sunset is the subject, is the linking verb, and gift is the complement. If we have like this, it's a complete idea, but if we remove a gift, the sentence will not have sense. We would not know, we would not understand what every sunset is. Or we also have, the flowers smell beautiful. In this sentence, the flowers is the subject, smell is the linking word, the linking verb, and beautiful is the complement. So you can see more or less the importance that complements play. Let's see a final example. Jimmy's teacher called him a troublemaker. Here the subject is Jimmy's teacher. Call him is the linking verb, and troublemaker is the complement. So as you can see, complements play an extremely important role when it comes to giving sentence or giving full meaning to a sentence. Now let's see about adjuncts. Adjuncts, an adverbial adjunct is a type of adverbial which adds more information into a sentence. It differs from other adverbials because if it's left or taken out of a sentence, the rest of the sentence still makes sense. So it's not that important, it's not that obligatory. Adverbial adjuncts provide extra or optional information, whereas adverbials offer information that is integral to the meaning of the sentence. So this is a huge difference, that adjuncts are optional because they just provide extra information or optional information. They are not that essential. Let's see some examples. I dropped my package next to my seat and sat down. Next to my seat is an adverbial adjunct because if we remove this, my sentence will still make sense. Adverbial adjuncts can also provide extra information about where things happen. For example, a low tide, you can cross the bays on the beach. So here we know that the adverbial adjunct is on the beach because we know that it's happening on the beach. Or the children were playing upstairs. Here we also know where the children were playing, which is upstairs. So this is another adverbial adjunct. We can also know when things happen. I can sleep at night. So we know exactly the time that we can sleep. He visited his family yesterday. So here we know that the time that is happening, that the time that he visited his family was yesterday. So this is another adverbial adjunct. Or how things happen. I find out how to do this by accident. So we know how he discovered, how he learned how to do this by accident. So these are some of the functions that adverbial adjuncts can do. But another quality, another property that adverbial adjuncts can play is that they're stackable. In theory, we can stack an infinite number of adjuncts one after the other into a phrase. For example, the book on the shelf by Dickens with the red cover that you gave me. On the shelf is an adjunct, by Dickens, another adjunct, with the red cover, another adjunct that you can, so as you can see, you can add an infinite number of adjuncts one after the other, something that is very particular about adjuncts. And to finalize this video, the main properties of complements versus adjuncts. Adjuncts are always optional phrases that they have fairly loose relationship with the head that they modify. They're not that mandatory, they're not that important, they're not that obligatory. They can, if we remove them, the sentence will still make sense. Whereas complements are often obligatory phrases, particularly the complements to the verbs and prepositions. They have a close relationship with the head. So this is what I explained, that complements are mandatory because they have a close relationship with the head, whereas adjuncts is optional because they just provide extra information. So the main difference between adjuncts and complements is that the adjunct is optional into a sentence, whereas complements are a necessary part of a sentence. So this is some of the properties that adjuncts and complements have. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was a great pleasure for me to be with you today. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Bye for now. Have a great day.